Part 3, Knowing the Student with Learning Disabilities, acronym LD, by Dr. Marty Harris. This presentation includes audio that reads the slides, therefore closed captioning will not be used. Your classroom, your teaching career. Across your teaching career, you will have students with LD in your classroom. Research is finding out new things about LD, and we as teachers need to be lifelong learners about LD. What are the defining characteristics of LD? 1. General unexpected underachievement. 2. Resistance to treatment, in other words, interventions. 3. Unique learning patterns. 4. May have additional problems with social skills. No single treatment or intervention, explanation, or accommodation is uniformly effective. Where are these students on the bell curve? By definition, these students have average and above average intelligence. Additionally, we use the term twice exceptional for students with LD and gifted and talented, acronym GT. Typical IQ for students with LD is 95. 75% initially identified in elementary grades. How does it feel to have a LD? We have all had the experience. No matter how hard we try, we have trouble understanding the information presented. My Waterloo was calculus in high school. Up until that time, I had been successful in academics. Geometry wasn't easy, but I got through it. Spanish took a lot of work, but I got through it. But calculus, it was if someone on high slammed the door shut in my face, laughing at my cluelessness. I felt dumb and knew the rest of the world was laughing at me. For most of us, it happens, that super dumb feeling. But not every day, for everything you try, or for everything you are afraid to try. What are the 5 common characteristics of LD? 1. Holding negative attributions. 2. Being non-strategic. 3. Being unable to generalize or transfer learning. 4. Processing information inefficiently or incorrectly. 5. Possessing poor social skills. 1. Holding negative attributions. Motivation and attribution are related. Motivation is the inner drive that causes individuals to be energized and direct in their behavior. Differences in motivation and attributions may account for differences in the way people approach tasks and for differences in their success with those tasks. One must be able to understand the relationships among effort, task persistence, ability, and interest. Successful students get that. 1. Holding negative attributions continued. Year after year of frustration and failure in school can negatively affect students' motivation and convince them that there is nothing they can do to be successful. They come to believe that they have no ability, that external factors control success. Luck, teacher gives a break, or a friend did them a favor. When students expect to fail, they can also become too dependent on others or too ready to just give up. This learned helplessness increases likelihood of poor performance. Students must understand the relationships among effort, task persistence, ability, and interest. 2. Being non-strategic leads to inefficient and ineffective learning. Approaching learning in an organized manner leads to efficient and effective learning. Not paying attention to important features of learning tasks or not structuring one's learning is common for students with LD. Homework becomes a major problem because LD students who are non-strategic become inactive learners and are not self-starters. They need direct instruction and positive reinforcement to learn classifying, chunking, associating, and sequencing. I can't believe it! I got every single answer wrong. That's too bad, sir. It proves my theory. I'm a PARCHESI player in a chess world. By Charles Schulz. 3. Inability to generalize. Generalize means to transfer their learning to novel situations or extend learning of one skill to similar skills. Teaching strategies that don't help, overuse of feedback, can reinforce dependency, learned helplessness, and learning inactivity. Teaching strategy that does work, explicitly make connections between familiar problems and new problems. 3. Inability to generalize continued. The ability to generalize expands learning and enhances learning. For students with LD, their generalization abilities are often weak. This impacts them in several ways. For example, they learn study skill in one class but not apply it to another class. They learn borrowing in subtraction when a 0 appears in the units column, but not apply that rule when there is a 0 in the tens column. 4. Faulty information processing. Difficulty with auditory processing, visual processing, processing speed, memory, visual motor integration, and figure ground confusion. Teaching strategies repeat important information in different ways. Organize content systematically. Provide students with relevant information. Anchor content and assignments to students' experiences and interests. For students with LD, faulty information processing is at the heart of the problem. Did you remember why today is so special? Say that again. I said, do you remember why today is so special? Say that again. Don't you know why today is so special? Nope. But you should see how funny your mouth talks upside down. Author unknown. 5. Poor social skills. Not all students with LD have poor social skills. 75% of the students with LD have poor social skills. Poor social skills have a negative impact on ability to make friends, self-concept, interaction with others, and approach to schoolwork. Social competence is the ability to perceive and interpret social situations and generate appropriate social responses and interact with others. Nobody understands me except you, Lucky. Lucky dog. Lucky dog. Get it? We're both LD. No wonder we get along so well. Author unknown. Cognitive characteristics: attention, memory, information processing, and perception. Attention: attend to the wrong thing, unable to filter out distractors, unable to maintain attention. Memory: difficulty with short-term memory, difficulty with working memory, difficulty with long-term memory. Information processing: problems with metacognition, problems with sequencing, problems with ordering, problems with seeing relationships. Perception: brain interprets what is seen or heard in an atypical manner. Trouble with spatial orientation and judgment. Trouble distinguishing right from left. Difficulty with handwriting. Overall clumsiness or awkwardness. Trouble with auditory perception. What are the academic characteristics of LD? Unexpected underachievement. Resistant to treatment/intervention. Difficult to teach the ability to solve problems. Uneven academic abilities, inactive learning style, poor basic language skills, poor basic reading and decoding skills, inefficient information processing abilities, inability to generalize. What are the behavioral characteristics of LD? Inattentive, distracted, hyperactive, impulsive, poorly coordinated, disorganized, unmotivated, dependent. When you think about a student, if the word lazy pops into your mind, let that be a red flag. Let that word alert you to the fact that you, the teacher, should explore what is really happening for this student. It is not the student that needs to try harder. It is the teacher that needs to try harder. What are the social characteristics of LD? Immature, socially unacceptable, misinterprets social and nonverbal cues, makes poor decisions, easily victimized, unable to predict social consequences, unable to follow social conventions, such as manners, rejected by peers, naive, shy, withdrawn, insecure, lonely, dependent. When it comes to thinking about a student's social abilities, if immature or lonely or dependent come to your mind, then let those words be red flags that indicate it is time to pay more attention to this student and examine other characteristics that might indicate a learning disability. Kids with LD are like popcorn. No two are alike. No two students with LD are alike, but each one deserves an education that is special. References: Friend, 2018. Hallahan, Kaufman, and Pullen, 2009. Eward, Albert-Morgan, and Conrad, 2017. Smith and Tyler, 2010. Taylor, Smiley, and Richards, 2009. Turnbull, Sjogren, and Weimeyer, 2016. Vaughn, Boss, and Shum, 2006. This presentation is copyrighted by Dr. Marty Harris, 2017, 2010, 2005, and 1998. Thanks for listening.